You know, I used to be really down and out on myself, and it's not one thing. Well, if it's the one thing that I've learned over time with doing this content, is that sometimes you need to reflect on where you've been so you can appreciate where you are. And I know that's a crazy way to open up this Sunday Funday Daily Dose of Des chat, but I wanted to start off with a motivation before we get into other sports talks because it's Sunday, right? And you don't really see me doing shows on Sunday, but I'm trying to get better being on here more often. And I got on here right after I took a scroll down my YouTube page and that I really started posting stuff like 2 years ago, but I didn't really start YouTube until like last year, like really. And I go back and even last year I did I was doing locker talk at the time and I would get, very minimal, like, 7 people, and I'm so grateful for those 7 people, but I didn't realize how far I've actually come in this period of time of just trying to build an authentic community, but also still working and building on myself and my craft and figuring out which lane I fit best in. I've pivoted quite a few times, and that's okay. And I just want to give a piece of motivation on this Sunday that if you feel like you're far behind, if you feel like you can't catch up, if you feel as though you haven't accomplished anything, I think you need to take a stroll or a scroll down memory lane because you may be more surprised by what you see compared to where you are and compared to where you will be in the future. There's nothing that you can't do. There's nothing that you cannot accomplish. And if you believe in God, the Father Almighty, or a higher power, or whatever you may believe in, but if you believe in something, then you know that your faith has to be bigger than your fear. And in order for you to take that proper walk, you have to lead with faith first. You walk by faith, not by sight. So make sure that sometimes you remind yourself of your walk. You remind yourself of where you've been, and you use that as ammunition and motivation to keep going forward. Okay? So sometimes I'm going to just feel it in my heart to give you a motivational speech or motivational statement, and that's what we're going to do because this is what the Daily Dose with Des show is all about. All things Des and me, be authentically myself while I'm talking my favorite thing to talk about, which is sports. Okay? We got a lot to dive into though. We have the Sanders family tanking, going downhill. We're trying to figure out what's going on. Okay? We got an LSU student that's joining the band that's probably going to surprise you when I talk about it. We have the recap of college football, and I'm going to give you a glimpse of my time at the MEAC SWAC Challenge and much more. So stay tuned, okay? Because we are definitely coming back right after the introduction, of course. And I have to always say, welcome back to the Daily Dose of Des. And I'm Des, and I can't wait to get back with you after this. Oh, maybe not. Admit it. Turn it up, turn it up, turn it loud. Got your feeling so proud. This is how we do it now. Daily Dose with this. Got you coming back for more. I don't know why I just had trouble trying to get this video to play. It's been acting janky. But you know what? It's probably because it's Sunday and I don't be normally on here on Sundays. But I had a lot going on. So, Saturday, if you sat with my chit chat, might get ready with me. I told you all how I was going and getting ready for the MEAC SWAC Kickoff Challenge and to really kick off and start my football schedule. If all goes well, I will have a game almost every weekend, minus the 2 weekends that I take for my birthday. So I will not be covering that, but that's in October. And if you've been following me for a while, then you should be aware and you should know that during the month of October, it's kind of like my junkie month, my rest month, my reset month, because I normally go. But if all goes well, I'll have a game almost every Saturday. So this Saturday kicked off my game day schedule. So I went to the MEAC SWAC Kickoff Challenge, and I think it went really, really well. I did, and it's going to be up probably after the show, a recap of the game. Really, I'm just talking through it, giving my opinions, and I let you see some highlights and things over there. So please go ahead and check out the video. If I can come back and edit the video, you'll see it by the time it's up here. It'll be a tag, one of these corners. I'll tag and put the video so you can go click on it and go watch it, or whatever, what so have you, to really check it out in supporting HBCU football, HBCU sports. But I do want to talk about the two standout athletes to me before I move on and talk about the rest of college football. So this picture here is the LSU transfer to Southern. This is Trey Holly. He is a running back. Really explosive guy, has the power and the legs. It's like, whoa, super fast. He's going to be a problem. I think once the offense kind of gets a little bit more acclimated, I think once their quarterback, who's McCoy, he's also super strong, also super fast. Like, he needs a little bit more accuracy, but he can float the ball in the air just like with ease. With ease. Somebody compared him to Joe Milton, and I can kind of see it, but it's just like this dude is good. Okay, and so is this running back. This running back is good. I don't really know the reason of why there was the transfer from LSU. I didn't really get to talk to him that much, but I did get to see him play, and I got to see him in the post-game press conference, and he's super grateful to be at Southern, and he really is buying into the program, and he's really showing up. And, you know, there was a question asked about his Chucky doll, and basically he was like, you know, I'm undersized. I've been undersized all my life, and Chucky's undersized, and basically he just wants to give you the energy that Chucky gives you. He wants to give you hell, essentially. And I'm here for it. Okay, do what you gotta do, my brother. Do what you gotta do. If it works for you, then it works for me. So I can't wait to see how they use him even more against Valley next week. They're on the road. I think that's going to be a great game. Valley is on this like new era, new Valley redemption. They're trying to make it from the bottom of the SWAC. They're trying to move on up. So they have a lot riding on the game, a lot of chips on their shoulders as well. So that is going to be a really, really good game. So make sure you tune into that. That will be played on Saturday. Moving on to the other standout on that was at the MEAC SWAC Challenge. I'm gonna say they're on different teams, obviously. It's Chris Mosley, another running back. Surprisingly, the running backs were explosive, but it's not a surprise. But usually sometimes you see like the wide receivers really turn things out. But this was all about the running backs. And he received, you know, double-digit carries, really, really put the team on his back. I think that he was the problem child. He was the problem child of the game. And I'm surprised that after halftime, Southern didn't really have an answer for him, but he was the problem child. And he's going to be a problem child for every other school that he see, especially in the MEAC. I can't wait to see this young man and to see what he's going to do and how he continues to further develop while he's playing this season. Really, really great person, really nice. Again, being in person and being able to hear them speak and talk to them and interact with them a little bit, you kind of get to see a different side of them. You get to see they're in their element. Obviously, they're locked in. But then, like, after the game, you kind of see, like, relax and chill. He was the MVP. And he was just super nice and diligent in everything that he did. So it's amazing when you kind of see that, because sometimes you get a notion of people in your head, you're like, oh, they're going to be this way or that way. And again, I'm not saying I had any of that in my mind, but just when you come into certain athletes, some athletes have bigger heads than they probably should have. And that's just not the case with him. He is definitely a leader on the team, really wants to be a good athlete, a good teammate, a good man in general. And I think that just speaks to the testament of the North Carolina Central program and what they have been doing over there. And their thing is culture over scheme. And I can definitely see that. You can definitely just see the way that they're poised, the way they carry themselves. And I really commend this program for continuing to build and develop our men that are coming out into the world after football, whether they continue on with their career or they go into another career or go into, you know, doing something else. You can really see that they really put in the time and the effort with those young men. Both sides, both teams, but really you can really see, and Coach Oliver talks about it a lot. It's something that he really harps on. So I feel like it's like my duty every time I talk about the university to make sure that I'm also harping on those things because that is what matters to that program. And you can definitely see it, not just the way they play on the field, but the way they are and carry themselves off the field as well. So I wanted to highlight those two young men because I thought they did amazing. And I enjoyed the game way more than I actually thought I would. But again, I gave my whole synopsis and spiel over there on my other video. So please go ahead and check it out. And please make sure you're hitting the like button. Go ahead and smash the like button right now. If you made it this far, go ahead and hit the like button. Okay, just like it. If you're not subscribed, subscribe. That's all I need. That's all I need from you. Okay, that's all I need. Just show me a little bit of love, just a little bit. Okay. I'm gonna open up the chat because I always forget to do that. Sometimes people drop in and chat with me. Yeah, if you're seeing this and you want to chat it up with me. I'm always open and willing and all those things too. All right, let me go over to my YouTube chat. Boom. So feel free to drop one in there. Okay, as we're talking about, we're gonna just wrap up with the college football because why not? Since I'm already here. All right, it's gonna cut it off a little bit, but I don't want it to block me. So there was the week 1 of college football. Started off in Dublin. I actually love that game. I wish that I wish that they had more games internationally, but I love the fact that they opened up in Dublin. The game was at 12. It was Iowa State versus K-State or Kansas State, and Iowa State won, really controlled the game. K-State did come back and they were fighting for it, but really Iowa kind of just held the standard for the whole game, and then it was just like a good thing. Afterwards, there was a father and a brother broke out in a fight. You know what, y'all? I'm gonna go on a tangent real quick because the one thing I never understand is why people go to either foreign countries or even in the airport and you start acting a fool. What? What are you doing? Are you trying to be on a no-fly list? Are you trying to get your privileges revoked? Are you trying to get arrested in another country? What are you doing? What are you doing? They have since come out and gave an apology, but it's like, y'all, that makes me nervous. I'm not even in this situation, but it makes me nervous. Okay, don't be going over don't take yourself over to different countries and go out there and act a fool. Don't learn your body, your drinks, hold it in enough. Listen. I don't fully know what happened, and I don't really want to know. But I seen the video; it was all over my Instagram feed. I'm like, what is going on? And that's all they kept saying, and how embarrassing for the kid that's playing football, and then suddenly all over the internet, your father and your brother are going viral for getting into a fight, and you just lost. Come on, y'all. We got to do better than that. Gots to be more careful, okay? But college football is officially so back and got started. Like I said, Iowa kind of controlled the clock. And that's the thing. Like if you control the clock and you're controlling the pace of the game, you're more likely going to win because you're controlling it. The ball, like literally when they say the ball is in your court, but it's football. So the ball is it is in your end zone. You literally get to control what is going on when you control the clock. And I think time management of the clock is something that really good coaches know how to do really, really well, and they exploit that. And those are the teams that tend to do really, really good and are successful. A lot of other wins happen for this week, but really everybody's gearing up for the week, this week coming in for all the games. So again, you have the SWAC kickoff. You have Clemson versus LSU, Texas and Ohio State. So all these games, you're going to just have a free fall. And then NFL was moving into the regular season. So it's just about to be football. Saturday was like football heaven because NFL wrapped up their preseason week 3. So it was just like you got football all day long. You could have slept and got up and boom, watched football from 12 in the afternoon to literally like 1 o'clock in the next morning for Sunday. So really, really great. I enjoyed it. I'm really looking forward to, and I'm crossing my fingers and hoping that I could be at the Clemson LSU game because that game is going to be, it's going to be one of the big staples. This is going to be one of the games of the years. I just feel it. The Brian Kelly and the Dabo Sweeney, going back and forth. The players are ready, trying to figure out, the argument of who and what's the real Death Valley. Even though they're saying Clemson is the real Death Valley because of the when it was named and how it was started, but LSU was like, no, we're the, so back and forth. It's like, who has the best Death Valley? Clemson tailgates really, really well, even though I've seen a thing about tailgating and LSU was, I think, number two. I think they were number two. I think the first was Ole Miss. So I have a feeling that the Tigers, the other Tigers, and they're both Tigers. Jesus. The other Tigers are going to come into town. I don't think they're going to have as much success trying to tailgate because, from my experience and from what I know, the media bus can barely get through the parking lot when it's tailgating out there for Clemson. Barely can get through. You know what I'm saying? Like I be nervous. Like the bus lady is gonna run somebody over. She does an excellent job. She does an excellent job of making sure we get to where we need to go safely. But the way that the tailgating is, unless they got tailgating spots, or I don't even know how it works because I'm in the media booth, so I don't know how all that works. But unless LSU kind of claims spots early, yeah, yeah, I think Clemson's gonna really turn out for this one for sure. I think they're really gonna turn it up. It's probably already sold out. It's gonna be one, and it's a night game. Okay, Death at the End of the Lights is something crazy, something different. My favorite. Oh my god, I'm getting so excited. I feel like I'm so excited. I'm trying to speak so fast. I just can't get it all out. I'm just so excited. You know, if I can't be there, though, I'm going to be going to Savannah State versus Edward Waters to see the new head coach Jenkins over there, Eric Dooley, um, Ernest. Is it Ernest Wilson? I did interviews about them. If you want to check those out, those are D2. If you want to check those videos out, they are also in my plethora, and I will try to tag them up here somewhere as well if you want to check those out. But that's enough about college football. Super duper excited about it. I did write a game day preview for Clemson versus LSU. You can go over to prettygirlsmedia.com, go to articles, and you can check it out. It's one of the top, maybe one, two, probably the third or fourth article that's going to be up there. Check out the game day preview. It'll give you literally the takeaways, the key points, all the things. Like literally, I'm previewing the entire game over there. Or you can also check out the Playmakers Press. You can go to prettygirlsmedia.com /Playmakers Press news paper, I think. And you can also check out the game day preview over there with Clemson and LSU. So yeah, I've already done my due diligence. If you haven't, there's still time for you to get it figured out. Still time for you to check it out. Still time for you to be involved in any type of way. And if you're going to go over there with the Playmakers Press, this is a shameless plug. Make sure you go ahead and subscribing. All I need is your email address. The email address. That's it. That's all I need. And the paper is free. It's a free digital paper that comes straight to your email. All right. Boom. Moving on though. While we're talking about LSU and while we're on the fact of LSU, this guy should be at the game. Okay, so this is I think his name is Kent. Let me make sure I get his name right, because the one thing I hate doing is messing up somebody's name. All right, let me see. Boom. The champ is here. Did I erase the article? Y'all, I think I erased the article. Hold on, y'all. But we gotta make sure we get his name, because I don't want to keep saying his age. His name is Kent. Okay, Kent Bouchard is 66 years old. Yes, you heard me. He is 66 years old. He is a retired accountant, and he is an LSU freshman. And he tried out for the band and made the band and will be playing the tuba in the band. How amazing is this? How amazing is this? When I saw this come across my feed, I said, oh, I gotta talk about it. This is so cool, so amazing. When I say I feel like he gave me a second wind. He gave me a feeling of it's never too late to do something. It's never too late to chase after your dream. It's never too late to go after, your goals. Because at 66 years old, as a freshman, you can join the band. And I think it's so special. If you can do it, you can do it. He tried out like everybody else. He applied like everybody else, got in like everybody else. He did the work. And now he's living out a dream of being on the LSU Tiger Band. This is so amazing to me. I'm so excited for him. I am so excited. I'm so excited. I wish I can get an interview. Somebody find me his information so I can see if you want to come on the podcast and talk about his journey. I think it's so cool. But yeah, so Kent is doing great things. And again, kind of tying it to my motivation speech that I gave at the beginning of this episode, like literally, It's never too late. If you feel like you're not doing something or you haven't done something, you want to do something, whatever the case may be, you can always go back and look at where you've been compared to where you've come and where you're going to go, and keep pushing forward. Keep doing all of the great things that is ahead of you, all the great things that you have in your mind. You were not given the dreams and the thoughts for nothing. It's for a reason. You just got to see it through. Okay. I just had to bring this up because, again, I was just so touched. I was touched and in awe at the same time. In touched and all at the same time, because the one thing I know is that band is not for the weak. Band is not for the weak. No. The practices, the schedule, having to know, having to read music, having to be out there in formations. It's everything. Them hot uniforms. Band is not for the weak. Okay? So the fact that he doing it, there's no excuse for anybody else. I'm about to sign up and go to school, back to school, so I can be a part of the band. I said that too. I said that on Saturday. I said it yesterday. I was like, I feel like I need to just go back to school so I can be in the band for like a semester. I just want to live out that dream. I lived out my dream of being a collegiate cheerleader. I lived out my dream of getting, my bachelor's degree and getting my master's twice. And now I just, before I dive into a doctorate, I want to go back to school so I can be a part of the band and live out that dream. I've lived out the pageantries, the homecoming, being homecoming queen. Like, I just got to live it all. I just haven't been able to do the band. And I think he has just lit a fire underneath my little tail to where I want to do it. I want to do it. I want to do it for real. Okay. I do want to do it for real. Because a fun fact is when I was going to school and I was getting was it my first master's? I was getting my first master's. I was going to Howard University and I tried out for the Ooh La La and I made it. I made it. And I wish I would have thought I was going to say this because I would have put up the picture or whatever so you wouldn't think I was lying, because I don't need to lie over here. Okay? And that's how I know that it ain't for the weak. Okay? Because at the time I was still very much active duty. And although I was given leniency to go to class, like I would leave early sometimes to go to class and all that, my staff sergeant was not fully on board for me, like missing like PT in the morning or missing meetings or whatever I had to do in the morning, or opening up the clinic in the morning for me to be at band practice and dance rehearsal or in the evening time. And it's also really hard, like being a grad student, like he's a freshman. So he gets the opportunity of living like a kind of traditional freshman schedule. But when I was trying to do this, I was a grad student. So all my classes were really in the evening and they would have rehearsal in the evening. And the way that the director at the time, because they have new directors now, the way that the director was at the time, yes, and you had to audition for everything for game day and all of that, but you had to be at a certain amount of rehearsals and things. And that's just in general though, with everything, cheer and all that. You have to be at rehearsals, because if you're not at rehearsals, how are we going to work with you? How are we going to do it? How are you on this team and you ain't at rehearsal? So really where my issue came in at was I was doing well over the summer and then they transitioned into new leadership. And at that time, I really didn't know much of the schedule. I only knew what I knew before we had the new directors. And I just think that I allowed my staff sergeant to really kind of like, he allowed me to do almost everything else that I wanted to do, but this one he had kind of hesitations with it, and I kind of let his hesitations make me hesitant, because I was even willing to like trying to change my class schedule a little bit so that I can be able to afford and fit in rehearsals. But for some reason, I let his hesitation mess me up with my hesitation, and I didn't go through with being on the dance line. And it kind of really, for me, it's kind of like one of my regrets that I feel like, because like I bust my ass so hard. So hard to make that team. When I seen my name on the list, I burst into tears like, oh my God, I didn't think that I could be on a team, a majorette team or a dance line. Like I never thought that I could be that, because I've always just been a cheerleader. So going into this dance world was very hard for me. I've been trying out for pro cheer and all those, other things. At the time they were called the Redskins cheerleaders. And I was training with the Redskins cheerleaders in their program, and really just like trying to develop my dance technique as much as I could, because I knew I wanted to try out. And I cannot believe I let somebody else low key hesitate and kind of crush my dream. And now that I'm talking about it, I'm like, wow, I really messed that up. I really messed that up. Because even if I only did it for one semester and I couldn't do it for the rest, like I really messed that up. I really wish that I just would have stuck with it. I would have done it. But everything, maybe it was timing. Everything happens for a reason. And maybe it's my time now. Maybe, maybe I can get out there and do a little 1-2 step and maybe be out there on a band like Kent about to do with LSU. I don't know. Maybe it's a stretch. But yeah, I had to talk about it because it just like I said, lit a fire underneath me. You just heard me going like a 5-minute rant about a piece of my dance journey that I actually regret. And the one thing I don't want to do is live with regrets. And you shouldn't live with regrets either. So if you want to do something and you feel as though it's something that you really, really want to do, go out and do it. Go out and do it. Age ain't nothing but a number in some cases and circumstances. I mean, look at this man. He's 66 years old. 66 years old out there doing what needs to be done on the Tiger Band. So do it, live it, breathe it, all of those things. Okay. Now, before I get into my little 3-4 football topics here and probably go on another rant, I'm going to transition over to hockey, one of my other favorite sports that's also starting really, really soon. So this is Tim Tebow for all of you who may not know. Again, this channel is for everyone. So it's for the beginners and the advanced. Okay, we welcome everyone over here. So if I gotta explain something a little more in depth sometime, it's because maybe somebody don't know. I just need to put that disclaimer in there, okay? Because y'all gonna stop coming to my comments with those ignorant comments, okay? All right, I like being respectful. Let's be respectful to each other and be respectful to the space. All right. Now going back, this is Tim Tebow. He used to be a football player. He was voted. I think he just won an award of being one of the greatest college football players since like 2020 or 2010 or something like that. So Tim Tebow, really great. Came out of Florida. He was a Florida Gator. Great quarterback. Went into the NFL. Maybe wasn't so great at quarterback, but he was really big on his faith. He has a foundation that he currently works with. Really does a lot with that foundation. And now I'm learning that he is part owner for a lot of different ECHL teams. He's really into hockey. And as of late, this newest news is that he's going to be a co-owner in a team that is being built in or being established in Augusta, Georgia. So he is going to be highly involved in a lot of different things here. So no, he's never played hockey, or maybe he played hockey before, but he's never played in the ECHL, the NHL, none of those AHL, none of those leagues. Never has done it. But he is the part owner of the Tahoe Night Monsters, which is also in the ECHL, and it's an expansion team. And then he holds a limited partnership in the Jacksonville Icemen, also ECHL hockey team, and the Savannah Ghost Pirates, another ECHL hockey team. So he has his hand highly involved in hockey. And ECHL hockey is professional hockey still, but it's more of that developmental. So think like NBA, G League, think of that for hockey. So these players that are coming here are trying to, either get moved up on a roster, or they're trying to develop their skills a little bit more, or maybe they don't want to actually get to that highest level for whatever reason, and they like being at this level here. So they then get to be a part of the ECHL. If you follow my content before, you know that I have covered the Atlanta Gladiators for basically two seasons now. And they are also a part of the ECHL. So a lot of developmental hockey and a lot of just really great franchises. So I didn't know that he had his hand in all of these different franchises. I'm assuming that he does what needs to be done, so it's not like a conflict of interest in any way. I'm pretty sure he's not, selecting players and things like that. But the fact that he's highly involved with this, and on top of his the Tim Tebow Foundation, is really, really cool to me. I thought it was, I think that's cool. And the Tahoe team made its debut last season, 2024 to 2025. So they're going to, continue. And then the team in Augusta will be making their debut October of 2027. So he's doing it. He got his hands all in the things. So I think that's great, and how he's still being involved with sports in some way, somehow, not giving up, again, on something that you want to do, doing it full out and giving it your very, very best. So that's that on that. Okay. Now, moving on to NFL. Like I said, NFL wrapped up NFL preseason week 3. I kind of touched on it when I was doing my chat yesterday, but you know, we've already seen a lot of the starters have started and played, so we got to see them, see their schemes. Like I said, if Patrick Mahomes can get out there and their starters can get out there and play 3 to 4 series, I don't see why everybody doesn't do it. And majority of all of the starters got out there and knocked the dust off, put some things into play. So I really appreciated seeing some of those starters. I really wish that I would have gotten to see Aaron Rodgers, DK Metcalf, play along with Caleb Johnson and Black. I enjoyed seeing him play. Cam Hayward is still holding out at this point. I don't think I was ever on his side about coming into this year and wanting more money after they've already paid him last season. It's kind of like, okay, are we being greedy, or like, what is the deal here? And now it's the threat of sitting out, and just Cam Hayward has rubbed me all the wrong ways. So really, it doesn't matter. But he doesn't matter to me at this point. But I would have liked to see, the Steelers, at least offense, get out there on the field and really do their thing. It's pouring down raining outside. I hope my windows are rolled up. Yeah, it's pouring. Anyway, so this, yeah, it's pouring. Anyway, so this this making his rounds. So is Micah signed yet? Or is, everybody thought that this was going to be like a moving forward. Mike, he was there. Obviously, he's going to be there because he's still on contract. So he going to show up. He's not going to mess up his money. But he walked in eating nachos. He's not in a jersey. He's like, I'm just here so I don't get, he did a Marshawn Lynch. I'm just here so I don't get fined. And when he walked in, a Falcons fan was like, come to the Falcons. He's throwing up the phone sign like, give me a call. He requested a trade already after the debacle with the contract. I really hate that Jerry Jones kind of went on the podcast and was just talking about it. And he said that, him and Micah agreed on the terms of a contract, and then his agent told him to, stick it up his arse. And, the agent said he never said that. He don't even talk like that, so he don't know where he's getting that from. So it's a lot of back and forth and a lot of drama still with this situation. And it's like, well, what is the holdup? What is the wait? Are we going to wait until it's literally week 1, the day before the Cowboys are about to play, to then go, ta-da, we've given him a bigger contract. Ta-da, he has all this money guaranteed. Ta-da. Line and building it up to the ta-da moment? I don't really know. I'm thinking that this would have been handled by now. I'm thinking that by the time they got to this game, this final preseason game, that maybe he wasn't playing, but he would have at least been in the jersey. He wouldn't have been showing up eating no nachos. He darn sure wouldn't have been asleep over there on the therapy table over there. He was ready to go. He wasn't there for it. He said, listen, again, I'm just here so I don't get fined. And then the coach, after, of course, the media's going to ask. He's like, we'll have a conversation with him after. I'll have a conversation with him about it. What you going to say? Don't sleep on the table next time? Yeah, okay. If he don't have the new contract by the time the season gets there, he probably going to be there anyway. But, just saying. So, the Cowboys are still working it out, trying to figure it out. And I have just been literally waiting to open my phone to see the ta-da moment. As I said before, you guys know majority of what they do is about show. It's literally show business, show and entertainment. Everything is show and entertainment. And again, not necessarily a bad thing, but sometimes if you understand how things work over there, you're like, okay, they're going to get a contract. It's going to get done. We're not worried about it. They did the same thing with CeeDee Lamb, Dakota, all the stuff. They did the same thing. So, we're just waiting for it to be the ta-da moment. But this has kind of gone a little too far, because it's like it just seems to be, it feels like they're going through a divorce, and it's a nasty divorce. But then again, you're like, maybe they're going to go through marriage counseling, and the divorce is going to be called off, and it's not going to happen. So it's really like they really have taken it to where you're literally on the edge, just thinking about what's going on and what's going to happen. But we shall see. The regular season is here. So Micah, you need to wake up and find you somewhere to go. Find you a team if it ain't Dallas. I don't know. I don't know now. Another thing I don't know. Shilo got waived, and they were talking about because he threw the punch at the guy. And I've seen the video, and I understand. Of course, it's always the guy that has the last swing. It's always the guy that gets caught, the second guy that gets caught, not the person that's actually doing it. The play was over. They were in open field. He did grab his face mask. I seen a video from a different angle and all that. So he was, roughhousing him, and who knows why he was doing it. It could have been a bragging right. Oh yeah, I got all up on Sanders or whatever. Because I feel like the name is just something that people either want to capitalize off, people hate, or people love. It's one of those things. And Shilo at that time made the wrong decision by allowing his emotions to get the best of him. I'm not saying he was completely wrong, because if somebody is really like tussling with you, most people won't tussle back. Being honest, like from what I saw in the video, it's kind of hard not to be tussled back. But at that point, I think he should have played it. Even he should have played the game. He should have like start wavering his hands and drawing attention, to the referee, because clearly the ref either saw it and didn't care, or didn't see it, or was doing something else. So he should have made a bigger scene and shown that the tight end was actually doing the most and doing too much, and then see if he can get a flag. And then if you're going to get him back, don't get him back right then. Don't get him back right then. You got to get him back when you're playing. You got to get him back some type of way. Okay? You don't just get him right at the time. So I think he has to learn how to control his emotions a little bit. But there's nothing that y'all can say or do that's going to make me not like Shilo. There is nothing that you're going to be able to do. This man, he's not a kid. This man has been the most like upbeat, positive, just grateful, excited person since being signed to the Bucks. Like the way he was hyped when he first signed his first jersey, the way he was when he gave his mom his first NFL jersey, like everything about him to me is super duper likable. And you're not going to make me dislike him because y'all don't like him. Same thing with Shedeur. Y'all not going to make me dislike these boys because to me they're likable. And they haven't actually done anything to consecrate the hate. Really, they didn't choose their last name. That's just what they got. It's just their last name. It's just who they are. And it's kind of like Bronny. Like people hate on Bronny because it's Bronny. Man, he didn't choose his last name. But had they said they don't want to go by their last name because they want to be their own, be their own people or whatever, then that would have been an issue. So really, they can't win for losing in any type of way. I do hope that he gets picked up by somebody else. I do hope that he learns his lesson. I do hope that the next time, if there is a next time in any way that this happens, he doesn't lose his cool. I know it's easier said than done, but I hope that he used this experience as a learning lesson, because that's exactly, I think, what it was meant to be. Was it quite harsh of getting waived? Maybe, sure, but they're in the position right now of cutting down their team to get to that 53-man roster. So maybe he wasn't going to make the roster anyway. Maybe he wasn't going to make the roster, because at one point I did see that he was, fourth on the depth chart for his position. So maybe he wasn't going to make the roster, but he could have probably made the practice squad if that was the case. Or maybe he was going to make the roster, but as a rookie, you're trying to make this team, you have to stay focused, because that tight end may already be on the team or may already have a better shoe-in on his side of the ball, his team. You got to focus on what you got going on right in front of you, and you cannot let people get you out of your character. Very rare that I've seen him get out of his character. Maybe I just haven't seen it. But again, I think that he just got in over his head and he let his emotions get the best of it. And it happens to the best of us. So I really hope that he gets picked up somewhere else. And again, nothing that you can say is going to make me dislike the kid, because I just like him. And I'm going to keep saying kid, because that's just not saying kid to demean him. It's just like part of my lingo, I guess. And ending with my last topic, I feel like we always are talking about Shedeur and what's going on, but it's kind of like it's hard to not talk about it. It's hard to not talk about what's actually going on around him. It's hard to not show your support for somebody when you have support for them. Like, again, support. support. I like him. I love what he's doing in the community. I love how he showed up to the high schools, to the games, handing out tickets, really being involved in the community. And really, my unpopular opinion is that Shedeur has come with so much media attention, so much revenue, so much, eyes on the Cleveland Browns that it's actually good for their marketing. They want Shedeur for their marketing. They don't want him to play. They don't really want him there. Kind of clear based off the game that we saw, right? They don't really want him there. But they need him there in terms of the money and the revenue and the marketing. So how could you get rid of the one guy who was not your who was not your third round pick, who's not one of your veteran guys, who's not one of the guys you traded for to get, this is your fifth rounder that you have, and he is bringing all of the attention and the eyes and everything on your organization. And right now, their revenue, I know the revenue has spiked. I know that the revenue has spiked. So he's so good for your marketing and everything, but you really don't like him and you don't want him to be there. You don't want him to play. But how could you give up the main guy who's helping drive your market value up right now, right? How could you get rid of him? So there's that. What we seen the game on Saturday was just, yeah. At first, when I saw the game and I was watching, and he finally got in, I was only listening. I wasn't able to really watch. I wasn't able to really watch because, again, I was driving. So I was listening and, hearing what was going on and trying to figure out. I'm like, dang, this is not the game for Shedeur to go in and be playing kind of like piss poor at this moment. Like, this is the final preseason game. You actually are healthy to play. You're getting in. This is like your audition because, again, every time he goes out there, it's an audition in a way, because that's the way that it's kind of been set up. And then he gets out there, and after Dylan Gabriel and, people are riding that coattail and all the things, Dylan Gabriel played great. Joe Flacco played great. Shedeur Sanders did not play great. But I also have to look at the circumstances of, I was trying to figure out what play calls was happening. Why was everything so short? I'm not so sure. It was so long. It took so long to try to get a play developed. And then playing with the threes, the people who are more than likely not going to be on the roster. So are you saying Shedeur ain't going to be on the roster either? But allegedly they want to keep all four quarterbacks because, again, why would you get rid of your marketing Trojan horse? Why would you get rid of it? Why would you get rid of it and risk somebody else or some other team willing to take it and willing to take him, and then you losing out on that? Because no matter where he goes, and it's kind of unfortunate for him in a way, because it's like, teams are saying, like, if even if he's not the starter, because he probably won't be the starter at any point, right? But coming in, he's not the starter, but he brings so much attention, so much media presence. He brings so much. So what team is going to actually want to be able to deal with that? And which team is actually going to be able to handle that, right? And I think that's a big part of the conversation that's been happening a lot. It's just figuring out, okay, well, if he does go somewhere else, where exactly is he going to go? For me, I think that he could be a good fit in New Orleans. I kind of thought that, I thought it would be a good fit. I was surprised when they passed on him, even though they do have some type of quarterback scheme going on down there. But it's just like, he got out there on Saturday, and I was like, this is not good. This is not good. And some of it felt like it was set up to be that way, like it was set up to not look that good. And hear me out. I'm saying he didn't play well. I even tweeted out, I said, this is not the game for Shedeur to not be playing well, right? Losing 41 yards on 5 sacks is a lot. But again, you're playing with the threes. So I think at some point, and I can see both sides, because you're doing the plays that they're telling you to do. You're going out there trying to follow instruction. You're going out there trying to make something work, trying to scramble, trying to get out, and you're trying to do all these things, and that's not your game. That's not what you do. That's not how you operate. But you're trying to do your best because you're just your audition. You're fighting for your life. You're fighting for your spot. So I get it. But at some point, it's like, okay, this is not working. And I do agree when I seen a clip of Shannon Sharp when he was like, Shedeur has to learn how to not make a situation that's already bad worse, right? You're in a bad position anyway. You're playing with the threes. This ain't the offense that was previously out there. And I think we all have watched the same thing. And if you think that it's something different, I don't know what game you were watching, because even Derek Carr and a couple of people tweeted out trying to figure out what the heck was going on, right? So the offense was definitely not the same. So at that point, you got to do what you got to do. Get the ball out. Get the ball out. Shedeur holds on to the ball probably because nobody is open, but he holds on the ball because he's trying to make something out of nothing. At this point, the people around you, y'all got to get together and be like, look, we gotta make each other look good. Okay? So I'm getting this ball out as fast as you can. You got to catch it. I'm giving you the ball. You got to run it. You know, I don't know. I don't know for sure what exactly was the issue, and then him not playing and him not doing the 2-minute drill. It's like, it just felt like it was set up to be like a clown show. You know, it was set up for him to be embarrassed, for him to feel embarrassed, for him to feel that way. And guess what? After the game, he still, yeah, I expect to be on the roster. I expect to be on the team. He still was he may have felt not as confident, but he's poised and confident in front of the cameras. Yeah, I expect to be on this team. It's kind of like keeping the main thing. My main thing is I'm trying to make this roster. I'm trying to be on that 53-man roster. So yeah, I think I deserve a spot on this team. I don't know what they thought he was going to say. What else was he going to say? No, I don't think I deserve a spot on the team. Maybe. No, he was going to say, yes, I believe I deserve a spot on the team. And rightfully so. But I just feel like this is like just watching a toxic relationship that is not supposed to be together, but they're staying together for monetary reasons. And it either can mellow out, and things would be kosher, or it's going to be like destruction. And I would hate that to happen for him, because I really just want to see him go to a team that wants to work with him, that believes in him and his talent, and that can push him further. And maybe there isn't any teams that believe in him. Maybe there isn't any teams that would actually want to work with him. Or maybe there is. Maybe there is. We don't really know, right? The only way that we kind of would know is if they waive him or trade him, and then we see what team he go to. Because at that point, that team is seeking out him specifically. But that game was not good. That game was not good for him. We all know it. We all saw it. And I don't think that we need to dwell on it any further. But I also think that we need to, call out the other side of that too. I think this whole Brown situation is becoming a little toxic. It's becoming a little toxic. So, all you can do is kind of wish him the best and just see what happens. Tuesday, the 53-man rosters will be released, and I'll be obviously on the show talking about it. Okay, so that's it. That's all I got for the show today. I really didn't want to be on here long, and I'm already at like 48 minutes, so I'm going to go ahead and hop off. Thank you guys for watching and being a part of the show. If you want to support in any way, go ahead and hit the cash tag at PrettyGirlDesB, or PayPal, Zelle at thedesirella@gmail.com if you want to support. But the most support that I need is for really liking the video, hitting that subscribe, and putting your notifications on, so you can always get my videos and get the links and get all the things about when I'm online and when I'm doing the live shows. So again, thank you all for tuning in. I love you guys. I will see you on the next one. It probably will be tomorrow for Monday Madness. So make sure you're tapping in.